Okay, so it has officially been announced that the Sky and Wings won't pursue coaching staff changes ahead of the 2026 season. And, I think that this is done for multiple reasons, and I'll get into that. So if you guys have seen any of my videos, you know that I hate Chris. I think Chris is a terrible coach, and I think it is a huge mistake to keep Chris for another year, okay? The only reason why you could say it was good to keep Chris this year, even though he is terrible at what he does, is because we have a huge chance to get the #1 pick to draft Azzi Fudd. That is it. The tank has been completed. There's no reason to keep him for another year. And some people might say, oh, what about the 2027 draft? We have Paige as our point guard, and hopefully we get Azzi Fudd, and hopefully we get Angel, okay? You have those things. We don't need to draft Juju, respectfully, because I think Juju's a generational player. I think she should have her own team. So you say that. And, from what I've seen, she's the only one who moves me. And like I said, she should have her own team. It makes no sense to do this. We went 10-34 this year. We won 10 games. We lost 34 games. 34 games we lost because this nigga can't coach for fucking shit, mind you. And that last game that we won, Nate Tibbetts gave us that shit, okay? He took his starters out like the second half of the game. He let us have it because the playoff seeding was already locked anyways. A win is a win. I'll take it. But still. I made an entire video earlier in this year explaining why Chris should be fired, okay? And if you look at my top post, it's there. But this is one of the worst coaching staffs of all time. Nola, no shade to her. Everybody else, and I don't even think everyone else's picture. This is just a photo that my friend sent. Bro, this coaching staff is terrible. It's terrible. I'm sorry, bro. So now I have to go on a spiel on why Chris should be fired yet again. And then I'm going to talk about the Chicago side because everybody can catch it today because what the fuck, bro? This was already floated that he would stay another year. I've heard the rumblings of this and everything. And so for it to be confirmed that, it just makes no sense. So I can't say I'm necessarily surprised in a sense, but also I am because, why would you do that, bro? I will never forgive Kurt Miller for hiring Chris Koklanis. I will never forgive that shit. I'm sorry. All the hell we went through this year for the #1 pick, which we should get and draft Azzi with, but Chris for another year, okay? And the reason why it doesn't make sense is because he's terrible at coaching in the sense of he's terrible at using his challenges. He literally waited so long to finally use his challenges, and he uses it on dumb shit like Myisha Hines-Allen and fucking Diamond Miller. It took forever for him to use a challenge for Paige, for Enrique, for DeJounte, and all those things. He's terrible with that. That Aces game where we just played terrible and everything and the rest were on bullshit, bro. I don't even think he used the challenges, bro. And I'm pretty sure I heard that Kurt was yelling at for him from the tunnel to use the fucking challenge. And he was not doing that shit as well. You have the fact that you can tell that the players don't fuck with him, okay? The whole rift and everything with DeJounte, bro, the way that he played her out of position the whole season and the way that he just talked about her and everything, bro, you have that as well. He took forever to finally get Paige in the 10s in the season. And you have the fact that whenever she got hurt with her concussion, this nigga was laughing about it. He was laughing about it. And when she got hurt again later in the season, bro, he was laughing at it again. It took him forever to give Paige the credit for carrying the team on her fucking back all year. So you have that as well. And you have the fact that whenever players get asked about him, they just talk about his mentality or whatever, the free-flowing offense bullshit, because he's not a good coach. Every time they get asked about Nola, they say how much basketball IQ that she has and that she's a genius. They don't say that about Chris because they know that he cannot fucking coach. You can tell that the players do not like him. The fans do not like him. Every time it gets to a critical situation, he fucking chokes in the fourth quarter. I cannot tell you how many times that we've had games we were close to winning and this nigga can't close a fucking game. I'm sorry, bro. I literally remember this in the Valkyries game we had maybe 2 weeks ago when we were close, and then he took Paige out of the fucking game. Okay, I have a huge problem with that. And then he put her back in, bro. She carried us as much as she could in the fourth quarter. Had Grace Berger playing way too long in that fucking game, and she can't score the basketball. Bro, he had Myisha Hines-Allen in the starting lineup. He had Grace Berger in the starting lineup. He had fucking Kyla Charles in the starting lineup in the year of our Lord 2025. Had everybody playing out of position. Paige is a 2-time Nancy Lieberman winning point guard, mind you, and he would not let her play point guard. He would not let her do that, bro. Grace Berger playing point guard in the year of our Lord 2025. I'm not over that shit. It pissed me off so bad. Having Enrique play point guard, bro, and having everyone play out of position, having DeJounte play shooting guard, having DeJounte play point guard, having DeJounte play power forward, instead of having her play small forward, which is her natural position. That is a huge problem for me. Oh my God, he let Zaza rot on the bench at the beginning of this year, and the only reason she got to play was because of unfortunate injuries to other players, bro. That's the only, like, he had her rot. And even then, she didn't even get to play enough time, bro. Took forever to get MHA out of the starting lineup. Took forever to get JJ out of the starting lineup. Starting Grace for as many games as he did. When, like, bro, and the whole free-flowing offense bullshit, why is there ever a game where Diamond Miller has more shot attempts than Paige Beckers? Like, what the fuck is this? I'm sorry. I can't have that shit. That pisses me off so bad. I'm sorry. Like, this whole everybody needs to hunt their offense. No, everybody needs to have a role. Not everyone needs to be taking 15, 20 shots a game, bro. But he didn't establish that. He doesn't have a real culture. He doesn't. He doesn't. The players don't respect him. He does not have a winning culture. This nigga don't know how to win. He really doesn't. And it's shown time and time and time again when we get in clutch situations and he cannot execute at all. Like, I'm just like, bro. Like, you cannot be serious, bro. One of the worst coaching staffs of all fucking time. And this nigga Kurt talking about some, let's fucking run it back. Like, you cannot, like, bro. It just pisses me off. It really, really does. Like, the first year, I was already pissed off about that. It is what it is. But another year of this shit, bro. And some people want to say, oh, you know, the injuries and da-da-da-da-da. How many games did we win before we had all those injuries? Let's think about that. And even with that, it shows that the nigga can't coach. When Fee got hurt, Cheryl Reeve was making sure that she, you know, you have to coach around that. They got Dejanay, which helped around that. But, you know, she did that. Natalie Nacoste, how many injuries did the Valkyries have this year? And still, she had them out there ready to go. Had them ready for defense and all those other things. So I don't want to hear the excuse because we didn't win that many games before the injuries and all this other stuff. So, like, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. He doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. And I made that video at the beginning of the season, bro. And then I remember people commenting on it like, oh, you're wrong because we went on that winning streak. And I told you guys that we win in spite of Chris, bro. And then we started losing again. And one of my mutuals said this perfectly. Every game that we win, it's on accident. You see how we had back-to-back wins, maybe like once or twice a season. We can't repeat it because when things go well, he goes away from that. It took forever for Paige to finally get rest. Mind you, okay, he overplayed her so much in the season, and he takes her out of the same points in the games as well, and then the lineups that he has without Paige are fucking shit. So any coach who actually watch and does their scout knows, hey, Paige comes around out this time in the game, so then they can have their starters running up and everything, bro. And like, not like, bro, he only had like 2 attacks this season and everything, like not standing up for his players enough, throwing his players under the bus, not taking enough accountability. This nigga want to say it's on me every single week. Okay, well, fucking coach better, but this nigga can't do that. Bro, I fucking hate Chris. You guys know that. Another year of this? Like, bro, I can't. I really can't. I'll watch anything for Paige, but good God. Like, seriously? Like, I hope this nigga get fired mid-season, bro. Like, I really do. Like, another year of this. Like, there's no reason to tank for another year. Bro. Like, and how many players are going to want to come in free agency with Chris as a coach? I wouldn't want to do that. I don't. Every time people come to Dallas, they get worse. Paige is just Paige. She's generational. She's different. Every player who's come to Dallas gets worse. You see how when we traded away Dejanay and Liz, they had better games and everything? When a coaching staff knows how to utilize you in your skill set and your position instead of playing you out of position, bro. The media answers and stuff that he gives, like, he's dumb as fuck. Like, bro, this is the worst coach I've ever seen, bro. Like, bro. Like, I just been going and bro, there's so much more I could say. But if you watch the Wings this year, you know the nigga can't coach. Don't be in my comments saying that he's a good coach. I will delete that shit. Seriously. Also, something else I realized that I forgot to say about Chris is the fact that he's a defensive-minded head coach, yet we had some of the worst defense in the league, especially defense in transition was terrible from this team. So he's not helping us offensively. He's not helping us defensively. He's playing people out of position. So those are huge problems. So I forgot to throw that in as well. Like, bro, like, Chris is just terrible at what he does. He's just terrible at what he does, bro. And I feel like there's something else that I wanted to say about Chris that I completely forgot about. I'll probably comment on it, bro. I could drag Chris all day, bro. Like, I swear, nobody hate Chris Koklanis coaching more than me. Like, I swear. I can't wait for him to be fired. I just thought of this too. I think this might have been the other thing that I wanted to say, but I don't know if he has any say in our strength and conditioning staff, but it has to be some of the worst in the league. Whenever you're having Enrique play with a torn ligament in her thumb and just multiple times, like our strength and conditioning has to be some of the worst in the league, bro. Like blow this team up from the top down, bro. We need Paige, we need some free agents, bro, but I'm sorry, bro. Like I'll never forgive Kurt for this shit. Like I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry, bro. Another year of this terrorism. Another year of this terrorism, bro. Like seriously. It's like the player safety is so important. The player well-being and mental health is so important, bro. And having to play under Chris, like I just can't imagine what that does. I can't imagine what that does, bro. Every fucking day. So I gotta record this again, but I just keep thinking about things to drag Chris for. And another huge problem is the culture, okay? Like I was kind of talking about with the whole like free-flowing offense BS. It just doesn't work. It doesn't work objectively. Everybody needs to have set roles, which is one of my biggest problems with Chris and his rotations. But it's also about the stuff that you don't see. Like I was kind of already talking about with like the relationship with the players. You can tell that he doesn't respect them. And just the way that he talks about his players. You're supposed to have the players back, and I don't feel like he does it. I feel like he throws the players under the bus. And it's just like, you can tell. And just like all, like there's so many things where it's like the challenges and stuff, the timeouts. Like we just watched on live the UConn national championship game versus South Carolina. South Carolina started to gain a little bit of momentum. Gino took a timeout. That is what you do. On every fundamental level of coaching, Chris fails. He could not execute in the clutch. And like I said, there was plenty of games where we had opportunities in the fourth quarter, okay? And the players had to execute, absolutely. But so many games were lost because of Chris's coaching. And so many times he was stubborn with the starting lineups and all those other things. Not to mention the fact that it took forever to get Paige the ball in the clutch, okay? And he wasn't drawing up great plays. We were drawing up plays for Myisha Hines-Allen and all this other bullshit. And just, bro, like that one play he drew up whenever they were confused, there's something that, like every fundamental level of coaching Chris sees. It's the things that you see on the court, and it's the things that you don't see. You can tell that they don't have respect for this man. You can tell that. You can tell that he doesn't know what he's doing. In his interviews, the stuff that he says is so puzzling, and he never talks about basketball in a meaningful way until, you know, he gets in trouble and everyone's on his ass. So then he just makes up some shit to say like, oh, I do know stuff about the game. Okay, but you're not helping them be in a position for success. He doesn't set his players up for success, and that's the problem. Everybody comes to Dallas, they regress because he does not know what he's doing. Okay, like it's just so many times you see that, and when people and players leave, you see them flourish because they're finally utilized correctly in their roles. And so that's why it just irritates me. And this is another thing I just realized, but we'll never win a championship with Chris Kouklanis. Like, we might get some better players and everything to make him look better than he really is. But if it comes down to a late situation, if it comes to a clutch situation, he will sell. And if we do win, it was by accident. Like my mutual said, we win the games by accident. So it's just like on so many fundamental levels. Like, that's why this just makes me so angry, because you're just wasting more time when it's shown that he doesn't know what he's doing. And like I said, the players next year can make him look better than he is, but he can't coach. And then the free agents that would make this a championship level team are not going to want to come here. So it's just a multiple pronged issue. I've had issues with Chris all season. Like I said, he's not a good coach and everything. And Paige been carrying, bro. Paige been carrying, doing everything that she can, and he just cannot coach. So those are some bonus thoughts. I'll go Sky side. I think that this is stupid as well. You know, for the record, I might as well add that in. People said this and I agree, but it's kind of telling. They fired Teaspoon after one season for not making the playoffs, and they keep someone who had a worse record than her and also didn't make the playoffs. I didn't like Teaspoon as a coach last year, for the record. You know, that's kind of my take on that situation. You know, I felt like the use of challenges and the rotations were awful, but I digress. But you're really keeping it. He clearly can't coach, and the misutilization of Angel pissed me off so bad. She had to get it out of the mud, bro. Angel not playing for the Sky next season, like, we've been through this. A trade will happen in some form, but two of the worst coaching staffs of all time. I wish I had the right photos to use for the Dallas Wings coaching staff. I might tweet this, but Dallas Wings are not a serious organization. Chicago Sky is not a serious organization. Like my mutual said, my five's in hell. Okay, Angel deserves better than this. Paige deserves better than this. Angel not going to play for the Sky next year, so there's that. And bro, you have Paige Beckers, and this is what you do to her. I'm sick to my stomach, bro. That's it. Let me know what you think below.